Hi, this is Vectrex here, and I'm making a video response to Shockz16. And he asks us this great question, and that's, what consoles do you own, and what's the first game that you played on them? So I thought it would be nice to make a video response, and here it is. My first ever console was the Binatone, and it had several games, but the first game I ever played on it was actually Pong.
And then start.
Yeah, I have like 5 minutes of experience in the outside of interest personally, like just starting my sort of first project there.
Another legendary console, the ColecoVision, and the first game I played on that one was actually Smurf. Now, this is Smurf. It's Smurf Rescue Gargoyle's Castle or something like that. Now, it's hard as nails, and it's a pixel perfect jumping thing, and this actually is just about all I got the first couple of hours playing this game. I mean, it's a bit like Wonder Boy, but it's very hard navigating these fences, and you can see it's a rather suicidal little Smurf that is trying to just progress to the next screen. It's a flip screen. While everybody was playing the Atari 2600, I was rocking the video pack, the G7000 console. On it, the first game I played was actually KC Munchin. It's a very nice Pac-Man clone, where the pills and the power pellets are actually moving, which makes it quite a bit of a different game than the original Pac-Man game. And while you will be able to eat the ghosts when you eat a power pill, getting the last pills actually is quite difficult because they tend to run away from you, and you'll be going about the maze forever trying to hunt down the pill, like I'm doing here now. Oh, and if you hear some noises, that's because there's this big storm going on outside, almost ripping off the roof of the house. But okay, the next console is this incredible beast of a machine, and you can actually see the game that I played on it first, and that's Scramble. Okay, so Scramble. This actually is the game that amazed me the most about the Vectrex Scramble. Like so. It's very hard capturing footage from this. But just the way this looks compared to the VIC-20 and the Commodore 64 versions out there, this just looks so organic with these super fine lines. Almost like they were drawn on a piece of graph paper with a light pen. And then the Intellivision, that was also a machine of legend. And I'm not sure if it was some sort of mousetrap game or if it was Beam Rider. I believe Mousetrap was on the ColecoVision. Not sure. I do think it was Beam Rider on the Intellivision that I played first. Beam Rider, an amazing game. It's an arcade game, which doesn't have any arcade machine original, which is actually quite weird because it's such a good game. It was ported on just about any 8-bit system back in the day, played it actually first on the television in the game store, and this is just the first level of me playing the game. Basically, you are on this defense grid surrounding the Earth. You have to clear it of 99 waves of alien ships. Destroy the mothership after you've destroyed each of the 15 ships. That's the power up. Once you've destroyed the mothership, or yeah, the mothership, I guess, the end boss, you'll progress to the next level. I'm just going to show you this first level over here. Just 4 left, and the wind is howling like crazy. 1 left, and now the mothership will appear, and I'll fire my torpedo. Boom! The Commodore 64. The first game I ever played on my Commodore 64 was a shooter game, and it was called Blue Max, and here it is. Blue Max by US Gold. All American software. It plays just fine on PAL systems. Let's try to take off. Yeah, pressing pause. Probably have to change joysticks. Whoops. Yeah, taking off. Finding out how to take off is actually quite a thing in this game, because the speedometer, actually when it turns white, yeah, you'll be able to take off. And if the planes flash blue, I believe they're fine, and if they flash yellow, you can knock them down. You have to, or the other way around. I'm not sure, it's been a long time. You can destroy buildings like this. Yes, it works. And you have to keep tabs on your fuel, and it's actually quite a nice little shooter. The Commodore VIC-20, almost the exact same case as the Commodore 64, only it was its older brother, and it was far less powerful, not sporting any bitmap, what is it? Yeah, not any bitmap graphics, not sporting any sprites, only a limited sound capabilities, but it played a mean Defender. Let's check it out. Defender. 1980s Williams classic arcade game Defender. This is how it plays on the Commodore 64, the PAL version. As you can see, everything is there. The display pretty much is exactly like the arcade version. The flame and the exhaust flame on the ship on the Commodore 64 version I prefer actually over the original arcade version. The thing is that the PAL version plays a tad slow, just like the Donkey Kong. So I tried the NTSC version to see if it's any faster. And indeed, it is a bit faster. It's actually more playable, although I crash it on my first flight. But as you can see, it plays a bit faster, and it's actually more enjoyable this way. I think the game was developed on NTSC. So this is PAL Defender, which is rather slow, as you can see. And I'll switch to NTSC Defender, and you can see that the gameplay is actually a lot faster. So the PAL Commodore 64 users really draw the short end of the deal here, or what is it, the short end of the deal. But now the VIC-20 version, and that is an amazing version for a machine without sprites. This is simply amazing. Look at this. It's actually pretty much like the arcade version. Of course, the scrolling is coarse. It's definitely character based, so all the finesses and the smooth scrolling of the Commodore 64 version are not there. But all the minis are there, the sound effects are there, and for a limit, and I even managed to finish the first attack wave. But as you can see, it's not a bad version actually. It's not as playable as the NTSC C64 version,
but for this machine, it's an enjoyable game. I think it's pretty close to the arcade original, and I would actually recommend people getting this card if they own a VIC-20 and want to play a real original Defender on it. I think it's a good port.
And then there's the infamous Amiga 500, the follow-up to the Commodore 64 that was rumored to actually be able to play Commodore 64 games through emulation. Frodo. Never saw that actually working properly. But the first game I played on it was over at a friend's place, and it was a rally game with airplanes, GB Rally. Let's take a look. So straight into the gameplay. It's a bit of a 3D game, and I must say the physics on it feel amazing. The closest thing I've ever played before is actually Master of the Lamps, where you fly through tunnels in space. It has a similar feel to it, but yeah, I mean, I love the physics of this plane. I love the scaling of the opponents. It really is a pretty neat rally game, rally racing game. And this is just the first lap. You can fly up and down. You have basic flight stick controls. You can control the throttle, and yeah, a sense of moving along is given by some purple bands on the floor, on the orange-yellow floor, and yeah, I believe it is possible to crash into planes, and that shows a nice animation. But I'm just trying to finish this first lap, and I think I just did. Yeah. So let's see what the scores is. But yeah, I mean, I just saw this, and it really is a very nice 16-bit flying game. Let's see the scores. Come on, load them up. Oh yeah, there they are. Wow, the ZX Spectrum. I love the machine, but I really am not sure what I played on that first. Might have been Garbage Man or something. How do you say that? Trash Man or Trash Can. Someone like a little man that walked around having to empty trash cans and stuff. Not sure what it was called, but or was it Android 2 or Vortex, something like that. Android 2 or Baggett? No. Yeah, Trash Man or something like that. And then we have my Atari 2600 Vader model, and I believe one of the first games, if not the first game I played on it, actually was also Bean Rider. So this is some footage from one of my old high score challenges, but I mean, after having seen this on the Intellivision, which is quite a capable machine, but seeing this on the humble 2600 in this shape, I mean, the programmers have done an excellent job. Actually, this game looks great on just about any system it plays on. There's even a ZX Spectrum version of this game.